Hi friends, welcome to this last part of class 10 science chapter 2 acids, bases and salts. So in the previous videos we have seen the chemical properties of acids and bases, and in this video we will see the properties of salts and their uses. In this video also I will give a lot of experiments, so watch this video till the end. So a salt is formed when an acid and base react with each other, and this reaction is known as neutralization reaction. We have learned about this in the part 2 video also. Now the name of a salt consists of two parts. The first part is derived from the name of the base and the second part is derived from the name of the acid. For example, if we take the salt sodium chloride, then sodium chloride is formed by the reaction of hydrochloric acid, which is an acid, and sodium hydroxide, which is a base. So the first part of its names, that is sodium, it is derived from the name of the base, sodium hydroxide, and the second part of the name of the salt is derived from hydrochloric acid, that is chloride. So now let us see family of salts. So what is a family of salts? The salts having same positive or negative ions are said to belong from the same family. For example, the salts sodium chloride and sodium sulfate are of the same family, that is the sodium family, because they have the same positive ions, that are sodium ions. So sodium and sodium chloride and sodium sulfate both have sodium ions. So therefore they belong to the same family, that is sodium family. So now let us see the types of salts. There are three types of salts: neutral salts, acidic salts and basic salts. Neutral salts. So when a reaction between a strong acid and strong base takes place, then a neutral salt is formed with pH equal to 7. For example, if we react hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide, then sodium chloride is formed, which is a neutral salt. Second, acidic salts. So for this we react a strong acid and a weak base, then acidic salt is formed with pH less than 7. For example, when sulfuric acid and magnesium hydroxide react, then magnesium sulfate is formed, which is a acidic salt. Now when we react a strong base with a weak acid, then a weak basic salt is formed with pH more than 7. For example, if we take the reaction between sodium hydroxide and acetic acid, then sodium acetate is formed, which is a basic salt. So strong acid plus strong base, neutral salt. Strong acid plus weak base, acidic salt. Strong weak acid plus strong base, basic salt. So now let us study more about common salt, which is NaCl or sodium chloride. So how is this salt obtained? It is obtained from either the seawater or in the form of rock salt. So as you know that seawater contains many dissolved salts in it. So NaCl can be obtained by evaporating the seawater and then purifying the salt which we get. Second, as rock salt. So deposits of solid salt are found in many parts of the world, and these large crystals of salt are known as rock salt. And like we mine coal, similarly rock salt can be mined. Now this common salt has a lot of uses. It is used in the manufacturing of sodium hydroxide, bleaching powder, baking soda and washing soda. Now we will study all of these things in detail. So first let us see sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide, its chemical formula is NaOH. We have already discussed this in the previous sections. And sodium hydroxide is formed by the electrolysis of sodium chloride. And this process is known as chloralkali process. So in this name, chloralkali, chlor stands for chlorine and alkali stands for sodium hydroxide, which is a base. So in this process, when we electrolyze NaCl, then chlorine gas, hydrogen gas and sodium hydroxide are formed. We will do an experiment to see this process. So in this experiment, we take a solution of sodium chloride in water, and this solution is known as brine solution. Now electricity is passed through this brine solution, and we take two carbon rods which are known as electrodes, and the carbon rod connected to the positive terminal of the battery is known as anode, and the carbon rod connected to the negative terminal of the battery is known as cathode. Now when electricity is passed to the solution, then both sodium chloride and water will split into their ions. Sodium chloride will split into sodium Na positive and Cl negative ions, and water will split into H positive and OH negative ions. Now we all know that unlike charges attract each other. So the negatively charged ions will move to the positive electrode. Now which are the negatively charged ions? Yes, they are Cl negative ions and OH negative ions. So Cl negative ions will move towards the positive terminal of that is anode to form chlorine gas, and the H positive ions will collect near the negative terminal that is cathode and form H2 gas, that is hydrogen gas. Now what is remaining? Yes, they are sodium ions, Na positive ions and OH negative ions. Now both Na positive and OH negative ions will combine to form NaOH, which is nothing but sodium hydroxide. So from this reaction we get three things, that is H2 gas, Cl2 gas and sodium hydroxide. We can write a summary equation as NaCl solution plus H2O on electrolyzing forms NaOH plus Cl2 plus hydrogen. Now all of these things, that is sodium hydroxide, chlorine gas and hydrogen gas, they have a variety of uses, and now we will study their uses in detail. So first let us see the uses of sodium hydroxide. It is used for making soaps and detergents. Second, it is used for degreasing metals. Third, it is used for making artificial textiles, textile fibers such as rayon. And fourth, it is used in the manufacture of paper. Now let us see the uses of chlorine gas. First, it is used in water treatment to kill the bacteria present in water. Second, it is used for disinfecting the water present in swimming pools. You must have observed that they add chlorine powder to the swimming pools to purify it. Third, it is used for making plastics such as PVC. Fourth, it is used in the production of pesticides. And fifth, it is used for making manufacturing of bleaching powder. This bleaching powder is used for removing the stains of our clothes. And third, now let us see the uses of hydrogen. So first, it is used to make ammonia for fertilizers. Second, it is used in the production of hydrochloric acid. And third, it is used as a fuel in rockets. Now let us see bleaching powder. So the chemical name of bleaching powder is calcium oxychloride and its formula is CaOCl2. Preparation of bleaching powder. So bleaching powder is formed by the reaction of slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide, and chlorine gas. So this reaction can be stated as CaOH2, that is calcium hydroxide, plus Cl2, that is chlorine, results in CaOCl2 plus H2O. So now let us see the uses of bleaching powder. So the word bleaching means that it is related to cleaning something. So bleaching powder is used in cotton and in bleaching cotton and linen in textile industry, and it is also used for bleaching the washed clothes in the laundry. So whenever we stain our clothes, then to remove those stains, bleaching powder is used. And also it is used for brightening the wood pulp for the paper industry, for the making of paper. Second, bleaching powder is also used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries. Third, bleaching powder also has disinfectant properties, and it is used to disinfect drinking water and to make it free of the germs.
So now let us study baking soda. Baking soda, the chemical name of baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3. Preparation of baking soda. So baking soda is formed by the reaction of NaCl with ammonia, carbon dioxide and water. So in equation form it would be NaCl plus H2O plus NH3 plus CO2 gives NaHCO3 plus ammonium chloride, which is NH4Cl.
So now let us see the uses of baking soda. First, it is used to make baking powder. So baking soda plus any mild edible acid such as tartaric acid gives us baking powder. Now this baking powder is very useful. It is used, it is added to bread and cake to make them soft and spongy. Now how it is done? When baking powder mixes with water then present in the dough of the bread and cake, then carbon dioxide gas is formed, and this carbon dioxide gas makes the dough soft and spongy. Second, it is used in soda acid fire extinguishers. So it is used in the fire extinguishers. And third, it is used as an ingredient in antacids. So it neutralizes the excess acid in the stomach and provides us relief. So now let us see washing soda. Its chemical name is sodium carbonate and its chemical formula is Na2CO3.10H2O. Now this is a very unique feature of washing soda, that these 10 water molecules are known as the water of crystallization, and we shall study about water of crystallization later in the video with the help of an experiment. So now let us see preparation of washing soda. So the sodium carbonate is obtained by heating baking soda. So when baking soda, that is NaHCO3, it is heated, then sodium carbonate, water and carbon dioxide is formed. And then this dry sodium carbonate is recrystallized to give washing soda. So now let us see the uses of washing soda. So first, it is used in glass, soap and paper industries. Second, it is used as a cleaning agent for domestic purposes. And third, it is used for softening of hard water into soft water. So hard water is the water which contains a large amount of dissolved minerals, and soft water has very low levels of these dissolved minerals. So the bottled water which we drink is soft water, and washing soda is used for conversion of hard water into soft water. So now let us understand water of crystallization in detail. So first, answer one of my questions. Are the crystals of salts dry? Let's conduct an experiment to understand this. So we know that copper sulfate is a salt, and for this experiment we take a few crystals of copper sulfate and heat them in a boiling tube. We have note that we have not added water anywhere, and we also take a dry boiling tube. But on heating, we observe that water droplets in the boiling can be seen in the boiling tube, and also the color of copper sulfate crystals changes from blue to white. Now think about this, that how did this happen, that the copper sulfate changed from blue to white and water droplets appeared in the test tube. So from this we can conclude that copper sulfate crystals which seem to be dry are not dry and they contain water. This water is known as water of crystallization. And when we heat the crystals, this water is removed and the salt turns white. Such salt or with which the water of crystallization is removed is known as anhydrous salt, and the salt which contains water of crystallization is called hydrated salt. Now, if we moisten these dry copper sulfate crystals again, then the blue color of copper sulfate crystals reappears. So on the basis of this activity, we can define water of crystallization as it is a fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. For example, 5 water molecules are present in one formula unit of copper sulfate. So we write it as CuSO4.5H2O. Similarly, sodium carbonate, 10 water molecules are associated, and we write it as Na2CO3.10H2O. So now are you clear why we attached .10H2O with washing soda? So now another example is calcium sulfate or gypsum. With calcium sulfate or gypsum, 2 water molecules are associated, and its formula is CaSO4.2H2O. Now we will study this gypsum in detail. So the gypsum is used for making plaster of Paris. When we heat gypsum at 373 Kelvin, then it loses its water molecules and it gets converted into calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So from CaSO4.2H2O, it gets converted into CaSO4.5H2O. So it loses 1.5 water molecules. And this calcium sulfate hemihydrate is known as plaster of Paris, and it is used as a plaster for supporting fractured bones. Now on mixing this calcium sulfate hemihydrate with water, it gets converted into gypsum. And this gives us a very hard solid mass, and it helps to keep the fractured bones in place. So with this, we come to the end of this chapter, acids, bases and salts. I will keep on uploading such chapters with colorful experiments and notes. Thank you for your support.